when the container truck, which was travelling towards Lok Ma Chau along the Chow Tau section of Castle Peak Road, ploughed into the taxi travelling in the opposite direction. The truck dragged the taxi for 50 metres before coming to a halt. The 5 dead passengers, aged between 30 and 47, were all part-time construction workers sharing a cab to work. Today was their last day of work before they were to go home for the Lunar New Year break. The 41-year-old truck driver survived the crash with minor injuries and was arrested for drink driving and dangerous driving causing death. A breathalyzer test showed he had 93 milligrams of alcohol per 100 millimeters of breath, more than 4 times the legal limit of 22 milligrams. Ironically, police said they were just handing out leaflets in the area yesterday to remind drivers of new drink driving laws being introduced next month. But they said the accident scene is not a traffic black spot.
As far as I can recollect, there's no major serious traffic accident occur in this stretch of road. So I think the design of the road had, well, actually no problem.
It's a senseless tragedy that need not have happened just as Hong Kong starts celebrating the Lunar New Year. This is another reminder for drivers, something that's been repeated time and again and yet is ignored so often. When you drink and get behind the wheel, you risk everyone's lives, not just your own. Jeff Tang, ATV News.
Distraught family members of the victims mobbed Chief Executive Donald Tsang at the accident scene today, urging him to toughen laws against drink driving. But Tsang said the existing legislation should be enough to tackle the problem.
Donald Tsang is now on leave for the Lunar New Year, but his holiday has already been marred by today's accident. He rushed to the scene in Lok Ma Chau this morning to console the families of the victims. Tsang was bombarded by relatives' cries to toughen laws against drink driving. But the chief executive said there was no need to change the drink driving laws now because the current penalties are a strong enough deterrent. I plead with all drivers, don't drink and drive. You only bring misery to yourselves and others, Tsang said. Under the current law, a driver that causes death by dangerous driving can be fined up to $50,000, jailed for 10 years, and disqualified from driving for at least 2 years on the first conviction and 3 years for subsequent convictions. New drink driving laws coming into effect on the 9th of February will force offenders to attend a driving improvement course. Relatives were inconsolable, as all of the victims of the crash were their family's main providers. One victim's father said his son had been looking forward to celebrating the Lunar New Year holidays with his wife and 10-year-old son after the last day of work today. It is wrong to drink and drive, he said. Families and friends burnt incense at the accident scene for the victims, while there were emotional scenes at the Fushan Public Mortuary. The government is giving $8,000 in temporary aid to the victims' families, and the Social Welfare Department will also contribute $10,750 to each victim's family for burial. Police said over the past 2 years, 5 people have died in road accidents caused by drink driving, and there is also an increasing number of drivers failing breathalyzer tests, from 3.3% in 2007 to 3.8% in 2008. Lawmakers also want the government to get tougher on drunk drivers.
I always urge the government try to have a more tight piece of legislation to let the driver to let them know if they violate the law, they will be suspended their driving license in a longer period of time. But not
Jeff Tang, ATV News.
3 months.
An intense cold spell has brought parts of northern China to a